Seve was an icon of the game, still is. When I started playing golf, you know, I was looking at the Europeans, and Seve's name was at the top of that list. He was somebody to aspire to.
Good shot, eh?
The first tournaments I ever went to watch, professional tournaments, were Ryder Cups in '89 and '93. Seve's name's synonymous with the Ryder Cup.
Right in the middle, beautiful.
I remember standing by the 10th tee when he teed off there at the Belfry. You know, looking at these guys like Seve and Nick Faldo and Colin Montgomery and Ian Woosnam, you know, wanting to be like them. And then, '97, I'm in a team captained by Seve Ballesteros.
From England, Lee Westwood.
Partnering Nick Faldo and having practice rounds with Bernard Langer and Colin Montgomery and people like that. So it was a very short gap between, you know, looking at and watching and learning from my heroes to actually being amongst them and trying to win points in the Ryder Cup for them. There was a story where I was stood on the 17th fairway at Valderrama in the Ryder Cup, and I turned round and Monty was there, Bernard Langer, Nick Faldo, and Seve Ballesteros was sat in his buggy in the middle of the fairway watching us. So, you know, that for me was, you know, one of those pinch yourself moments where it was like, is this really happening to me? And Seve was obviously a very, very big part of that, and you know, inspirational in the team room, and just a phenomenal presence and a very calming presence.
I mean, Seve, you know, everything he did for European golf and the way he did it, he should be cherished and remembered. Seve was one of the people that, you know, inspired me to take the game up. You know, we had not just Seve, but you know, Bernard Langer, obviously, Woosie, Fowler, that era really. But Seve was you know, he was the charismatic one, wasn't he? The first Open Championship I went to see, my father took me to, was at Lytham where Seve won, and I saw him in person. I saw him practice down at St Pierre with a couple of friends from Swindon. There was 10 of us watching Seve warm up at St Pierre, which was just literally 10 of us. That was amazing, and you know the charisma of the man was just incredible. But he played with this flamboyant style, didn't he? He was great with the crowds. He could scare the crowds. He was an intimidating presence, Seve, but while also people, you know, you wanted to be around him.
Stay still if you don't mind, please. I know you're nervous, but I am too.
Everyone seemed to love Seve as well, the Brits, you know, wherever you were from. And maybe not the American public at times, because he was so good in those Ryder Cups. But he really was Mr. Golf, and he was just amazing. We're very fortunate that he was so passionate about the European Tour and wanting to grow the game over here. He was pivotal in that for our tour, no doubt about that.
You know, when people talk about Seve, it's a reverence that is incredible, and is something that we're incredibly proud of, and we cherish his memories and his unbelievable skill in all facets of the game, both on and off the course. For me, you know, Seve is somebody that I never had the privilege of meeting, but almost every single day during the last 5 years as my role here as the CEO of the European Tour, somebody has told me a Seve story, and they're always great. They always make you laugh, or they always make you just appreciate his unbelievable talents. And if there's one regret, it was the chance that I never had to meet him or watch him play live.
Twitter, I get messages from fans that saying that his son is called Seve, and I mean that's pretty impressive. It's happened to me, I'll say, between 5 and 10 times, and it's still impressive every time it happens.
I'm fortunate enough to play with Seve, and fortunate enough to play with Lee against Seve and Jose Maria a couple of times as well, which was two of the highlights of my career on tour. That was just the thrill of all thrills, to play against those two great Spaniards alongside Lee. While Seve was a world star and a worldwide player and a major winner, obviously, he was one of the biggest stars in the game. You always felt at heart that Seve, his heart was with the European Tour. That came out in his Ryder Cup heroics, and it was that us against them mentality. You just knew that Seve cared deeply about the growth of the European Tour. And similarly with Lee, whilst he's been at the top of the tree for many, many years, of course he has played on the PGA Tour over the years and taken up membership at times. You just know that with Lee, again, his heart is really, really with our tour. Wherever possible, he's always supported the European Tour. And yeah, I say he's been one of the biggest names now for over 2 decades.
It was terrible, what happened to Seve, and it all happened very quickly. And I suppose I'm one of the fortunate ones still playing on the European Tour that got to play with him and be around him quite a lot and learn from him. And yeah, to ever be compared to Seve is humbling, really. I went past his Ryder Cup total in Glen Eagles a few years back, and it really choked me up at the time, because he was somebody I looked up to and wanted to emulate and be like. So to win an award with his name on it is very special. His presence is still felt on the European Tour. I just hope I can represent the award this year in the manner that it should be represented, when it's attached to such a great name as Seve's.
To watch another European Tour video, click here, and to subscribe, click here.